So the prior 8 games before tonight, with runners in scoring position, the fellas managing only 4 knocks. But today, it was almost as if they were programmed to drive runners in, get them on, get them over, and the rest is history. Ian Happ in the batter's box, he was in scoring position tonight. Yeah, that one absolutely hammered. Part of a fat number, top of the 7th. Happer went bridge. Conforto, he did the same. Bushy, knock, drives in Dansby. That pushed him to double digits, and you see the final? Good buddy, 10-4. Cubs, they come out on top. So you know what time it is. It's time for us to roll. This is Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Yuengling Flight, the next generation of light beer. I'm Cole Wright. That's the 9-year big leaguer Ryan Sweeney. And like Andy Dufresne, when you escape from Shawshank, we can finally relax, man.
Well, it was good to see the boys smiling
Come
again.
on.
And I think that homer by Happ just set him off right there. And Happ did it in the first inning, too, when he had that big at-bat where he got the single and driving in the first 2 runs of the game. But this is what you needed tonight. You needed to go out there, put an exclamation point on it, right? You've been struggling with runners in scoring position. Like I said, you had 5 guys with multiple hits in the game. It started off right here. This was a first pitch breaking ball that Happ did not wait around, just positing it into the right field bleachers. And then you had Conforto, obviously, that hit the home run, and then Busch here, too. But it was interesting because Alcantara came in and pinch hit for Ballesteros, got the walk. And then later on, you had Conforto coming in, who comes off the bench and gets a nice first pitch homer to go along with it as well.
Yeah, it's almost as if I was like, what's going on? Kevin Alcantara
right?
only gets a free pass, and then Michael Conforto comes in. It's
Take
like,
a seat,
and then he
kid.
swung, and it was out. I'm like, hey, never mind.
Hey, Craig
Kevin
knew what he was
Alcantara,
doing.
yeah, you're good right there. We'll get back after it tomorrow, because you see, it's all about being able to put up some of those crooked numbers in certain innings. In the top of the 7th, that's where the fellas feasted.
Well, that was, and then the big 7th with the 6 runs was huge. But I think what stuck out to me the most, too, is they had a couple times tonight, too, where they had big 2-out knocks. And we haven't seen that as of late. Guys have been getting into scoring position, and with 2 outs, they've either been grounding out or flying out, what have you. But in this situation, you got a couple big knocks with 2 outs. So I think when you look at it, you have to take the positives out of today's game. And I think when you go into, you kind of needed to win the game, when they talk about with Paul Skeens tomorrow. Not that he can't be beaten, but I think it's one of those situations where you like your chances better now, having that momentum going into the game and the final game of the series tomorrow.
Yeah, the fellas banging out a whole bunch of hits today. They're now 24-1 when they log more hits than the opposition. And Ian Happ, that was one of the biggest hits of the night. So let's revisit it. We're going with our Make Life Brighter moment of the evening, presented by Pella Windows and Doors. And who was it? The cat we just made mention of, the mayor of Pittsburgh, Ian Happ. Had to get a little English on that one, like he was hitting the fairway, but yep, that one right there, he'll be putting for birdie right after that.
Well, that ball just ran into his bat, and like I said, it was first pitch breaking ball. He stays back nicely, hits over the right field fence. You see how pumped up they are, but just putting that exclamation point with that 3 runs right there, getting everybody fired up in the dugout.
I want to know who got the first high five right there, because it's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Tom Jones fans in the house, Fresh Prince fans in the house, Alfonso Ribeiro fans in the house. There's tons of Cubs fans in the house right about now, and they're all fans of Elise and Ian Happ. They're catching up. Let's go.
Ian, back in the win column. How does it feel?
Feels good. That was a really good game all around. J-Mo kept us in that thing. Just got beat on a couple pitches. He was really good besides that. And offense all the way around, guys on base, opportunities, cash them in today.
Big part of that offense today, you knock in 5. So what are you thinking off the bat with that home run, and then the feeling as you get to be greeted by your teammates?
Yeah. Stay fair, stay fair, stay fair. Just a big moment for us to have a little bit of breathing room, and then what we're able to do after that, just add on, and Fordo's big swing there gives us a little bit of breathing room for the bullpen, and just all the way around, great day.
Describe the feeling after your home run and just knowing, you can share this with the guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, being back in the dugout with those guys, just, the energy, I think it's been heavy, and so to have a little bit of levity and be able to celebrate together felt good.
Go celebrate, thanks.
Thank you.
Happer swinging the guitar tonight, 5 RBIs, one shy of a career high, his first 5 RBI game away from Wrigley Field. And when you're feeling it, I guess you're feeling it. And tonight, that's what he was doing.
Yeah, and getting his 11th homer of the year tonight.
Helps.
And I think when you look at it, Ian Happ, he's been through these ups and downs of getting a few days off and then being back in the lineup. So it had to feel good for him. And it all started off in the first inning. You see here with the bases loaded. He has a good at-bat against Bubba Chandler, who is throwing fastballs, but we know he's very susceptible to that walk. So he chases a few up in the zone. but then he fouls a few tough pitches back, lays off that sweeper, and then gets the fastball up later on in that bat and ends up driving into right field. So this scores the first 2 runs of the game. So this was a positive start for the Cubs. You see here, Ian Happ, it was almost like a sinker away, but then in the 7th inning, he didn't wait around for the later on in the at-bat. It was the first pitch breaking ball. He drives over the right field fence. Like he said, he was just hoping that it stayed fair. And if it didn't, that probably would have summed up how the Cubs have been going as of late. But it did stay fair, and it turned the whole page.
Yeah, you have to love the way the dugout was all amped up after that. And for Happer, as we said, the first road game with 5 RBIs and the third time with at least a 5 to his credit. Highest OPS at PNC Park. Extremely apropos that he was able to go bridge, especially with another ball game left there in this 4-game series. But yeah, when you're up there with Albert Pujols, Brian Giles, and a whole bunch of other notable names, that means you're doing something special. It happened. Yeah.
Michael Busch
Tears
lover.
being shed. Michael Busch. We all love him. They know that. Oh, remember this youngster? Yep, that's what happened. When the Cubs get off the schneid, there will be some thug sweat rolling around right about there. But when you take a look at some of the numbers, now 23-20 versus right-handed starting pitchers. And right now, the Cubs, they jumped out early and they said, fellas, a 10-game losing streak, let's not make it 11, pedal down and let's go.
Well, now you start a new streak, and that being of the winning variety.
Let's
so
go.
Hopefully you carry that momentum, like I said, in tomorrow against Paul Skeens and then going into St. Louis. So, but I think we talked about the offense tonight, but I don't think you can overlook what the bullpen did either. I mean, you had Webb came in a big 6th inning and struck out the side. Then you had Maton, Thielbar, and Roberts come in and basically shut him down. So, and you had Webb that ended up getting the win. So, I mean, that's a huge situation, too, for those guys to come in and build that confidence. I know they ended up having a 6-run lead, but when Webb came in at that time, it was still tied 4-4. So those guys getting confidence at the back end of the bullpen to know that, hey, we can pitch with a lead again. And like I said, build that momentum going into the last game of the series.
We've seen leads squandered before. The bullpen, they came in, professionalism on display. That gets us to our professional grade plays presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana GMC dealers. And we are giving it to the fellas out of the arm barn when they have their number called. We've talked about it all season long. No real defined roles. These guys are just out-getters right now, Sweeney.
Yeah, and I think Webb coming in that big situation, look, he's been doing well all year when his number is called, but Maton getting some experience now going in the back end of the bullpen, being able to get almost 1, 2, 3 inning.
Oh, think they got the swagger back. Okay, let's make it 2 wins in a row before we start putting the cart before the horse. But either way, a W, it sounds luxurious. And speaking of luxury, when you can tune into a podcast with these 2 cats as soon as we wrap up right here on Postgame, that's as warm as an Andriana Fur's fur coat. That's right, the Lovable Reunion. Rossi, Rizzo, feel the warmth and luxury that you deserve. That's right, it's tonight or right after us. Mike Montgomery, Justin Grimm, they will be hanging out, so it's an episode that you will not want to miss out on. Some Northside high fives going on in Pittsburgh, PA after a 6-run W, 10-4 over those Buccos. Game 3 of the series tomorrow. They're looking for the split. We'll show you how everything unfolded in Pennsylvania in just a bit. Keep it here.